All right, well, good morning. So thank you for your time, and we are excited to share with you our project, which is the web platform assessment and relaunch of the Evansville Museum's website. So my name is Nick, and I was the project manager.
Oh, I'm Nathan, and I was the lead developer.
I'm Marcus, and I was also a developer.
I'm Brian. I was a documentation specialist.
I'm Eli. I was also a documentation specialist.
I'm Ian, and I was a developer.
I'm Joe. I was also a developer.
Farhan Fauza. I'm a documentation specialist.
So our client is the Evansville Museum of Arts, History, and Science. The Evansville Museum is a major historic landmark of Evansville. They currently have 15 staff members and 62 members on the Board of Trustees. Last year they held 16 exhibitions, which were separated by art, history, science, the M-Track, and the Cook Immersive Theater. And we were initially introduced to this project by Dr. Sudesh Mujumdar, who is a board member who had a hunch that their web platform wasn't effective. During the first presentation, we then met with Mary Bauer, who's the executive director, Jamie Lyles, the director of development, and Faith Connell, who is a marketing assistant. These three were in charge of making the final decisions for the website changes. And then towards the end of our project, we met with the rest of the marketing committee to show them our progress and as well as to hear their feedback. And then last week on Tuesday, we met with the Board of Trustees as well to hear from them.
All right, well, when we were introduced to this project, we were rather unsure about what the actual requirements were for the museum's website. So to help establish these, we conducted an audit of the website, and we did this to identify the critical improvements that could be made to the website. This audit took several weeks of research and a lot of documentation to help direct us to make improvements to the website and help decide what we're going to actually do to accomplish this project. So the audit, it was several weeks of intensive research on the Evansville Museum's website, but we also looked at other museums' websites as well to help provide a bit more of a groundwork as to what the industry standard, so to speak, is for museums' websites. We also interviewed Dr. Sudesh Mujumdar to help establish the high-level goals of what they were really looking for out of the website. He was a project sponsor, and he told us exactly what they were looking for, which is mainly mobile optimization and clarity and analytics to be added to the website. Now, during our audit, we had a suspicion that there was a few issues with the website, mainly regarding clarity and organization. So we used the UX testing that we have available on campus, which tracks eye movement and emotions to gauge what a user is looking at and what they're feeling while they're looking at a website. Now, as we can see in this video here, we asked this lady to find the general admission prices on the old website. And the circle on the screen is where she's looking at, and the graphs down below are her emotions that she's currently feeling. The dark green is disgust, which means she's not very happy looking around at the site. And it took her several minutes of looking around the website, and she never actually ended up finding the admission prices when they were just simply on the home page, and all she had to do was scroll down.
All right, so just to go back to these emotions here. So this dark green, that's disgust. And then this yellow here, that's joy. So these are the emotions she's feeling while she's completing the task. So as Ian mentioned earlier, we had two high-level project goals of this project. One was to assess the current web platform, and then the other one was to implement this. Now, this was a lot to do in one semester. So for the first one, assessing the current web platform, we spent pretty much the entire first third of the semester to half the semester completing that. We were meeting with our client about every week, in discovering the requirements for this website and just fleshing them out with all the stakeholders. So our conclusions were from this website audit that the mobile optimization needed to be improved, the clarity on certain pages regarding pricing with certain events needed to be improved because it was a little confusing whether certain events are free or paid. And then next, the organization on certain pages needed to be improved. The navigation really needed a complete overhaul. And then analytics needed to be added for the marketing team to make better decisions. And now Marcus is going to talk about roles in the project.
All right. So in the beginning of our project, we had a lot more fluid roles because we were just going out and getting as much information as we could about what makes a good website work. And as we kind of solidified our information into our system requirements, we also solidified our roles. We had our project manager, Nick, 3 documentation specialists to make sure, absolutely sure the museum would be able to run the system once we turned it over, because they don't have an IT staff. We had 2 developers originally, but with only half the semester to move all of the website's information over, we had to bring in a couple of additional members to help.
And then we only had 3.5 months to get the project done. So due to the time frame that we had, as well as the scope of the project, we knew that traditional methodology for completing projects wasn't going to work. So we decided to use an agile approach. And to start, we created 4 major sprints throughout the semester. In these sprints, we had 5 client meetings built in so that we could meet with the client, give them our findings, show them our progress on the site, get feedback from them, as well as complete tasks for the class part of the senior project. Oh, yeah, we switched. That's right.
Yeah, that's right. So when we began our project, we needed a way to collaborate as well as manage tasks. So we used 2 applications. We used Slack, which was our communications application, which allowed for multi-channel grouping, tagging of teammates, and the ability to upload documents directly to Slack. So we kind of had our information all in one direct place. And then Freedcamp was our task management, which utilizes the Kanban framework, which breaks down your task. It displays them on visual boards, and then for each of those visual boards, it kind of gives you the current state. There's 3 different states. There's no progress, in progress, or completed, and it also shows you who the task is assigned to. And then, so for our website design platform, we ended up going with Wix, and there was 2 reasons we did this. One, for maintenance, because the museum staff doesn't have a technical team, so we had to make sure that they were able to upload and put new events on there that are coming up for the museum, and just make it very intuitive for them to be able to go on there and update their own information. And then, as well as, it made it very simple for us to rapidly develop because we had such a small time frame. It allowed for 4 of us to be able to create and develop, and just really helped us create this website in the short amount of time that we had.
All the way down here. All right, so it was clear. Can you go next slide? This is the right side. My bad. So it was clear from our first few meetings with them that they really didn't know what they wanted from us. But after we did our audit, after a few more meetings and our sprints, we were able to throw around enough suggestions to come up with our system requirements. Now, from that system requirements and using Freedcamp to fuel our tasks, we were able to come up with our project plan. And we came up with a list of use cases, one of them, the most important, being to implement the 3-click rule, which they really needed, which you'll see later in more videos. But after all was said and done, I believe we had 50 plus pages documentation. So, all right.
All right, so At the beginning of the project, we made that audit, so we are going to revisit the the criteria, the requirements that we created to see how they've been implemented. And Farhan's going to start us off.
So based on our research and the video you guys saw, we clearly saw that it has all the information needed to a user, but it is not clear and it is not easy to use. So let me walk through briefly like what we have done to make life easy. Like what you can see on the left side is how it used to be as a mobile platform. So the navigation bars are not organized. It's like everywhere, and it's a clicking, it's tough, and go to another page is not easy. So what we have done now is like, we can just click on the navigation. It shows like buying a ticket or when is the event available, etc. You can play that now. It's about a visit, buying a ticket, exhibition, what's next coming up. So clarity, as I said, the information is there, but it's not easy to access. It's not clear enough. For an example, when it comes to an event, like they have all the information, but they don't have the price of the ticket, where it is happening, and when it is happening. So what we decided is make life easier, put everything on the front, like is it a free event, how much is the ticket, and try to implement the 3-click rule that on the page itself, within the 3-click, they can buy the ticket, comes to the pay page. We can turn on the video.
I can take this part. All right, so now we're going to go to, so this right here, we're just walking through the e-commerce plugin, how you can buy a ticket and actually check out. All right, so now we come to the accuracy and organization. So this is the old website, or the current website's shopping page. Now this isn't bad, it's just a little cluttered. And in a minute we're going to show so here's the new shopping page. So it's a lot less confusing, and there's a filtering system now. Alright, so now we go to navigation. So like we were saying before, there's a lot of navigation going on here. There's a bar up here, bar up here, bar up here. It's a little confusing. So now we're going to go to the new website, and we have condensed this down to one bar. Alright, so Google Analytics. So due to time constraints, this hasn't been implemented yet because we're waiting on the client to transfer the domain name over to the new site. So again, this hasn't been implemented yet, but we are ready to at a moment's notice. Alright, so we're going to show our audit list that we made for our client. And we wanted to show this again to reiterate that we met all of the requirements that we had set. And now we are going to revisit the biometric testing. So now that we have made all these changes, we wanted to show again that the biometric testing, comparing the old website to our website, and see how it goes. Alright, so this is the old website, and the task is to find the general admission prices. Now, he did not...
You just use the mouse or you use keyboard too?
So he couldn't find it. So he ended up using the search bar up here, and he was our only participant that actually found the general admission prices on the current website, which is pretty interesting. And then this little graph right here, this green bar, that is the galvanic skin response. So that is what the data that we're getting from the finger secretion or the finger sweat. So all of these red arrows right here, that indicates a peak in finger sweat, which means he is stressed. So as you can see, there are a lot of peaks here. So he is very stressed. And then, so we're going to show it on the new website. As you can see here, there are only 3 peaks here, so he is a lot less stressed. And he just found it. So anyway, what used to take minutes now takes seconds, and actually they couldn't even complete the task on the current website, and now they can. All right, so we have contributed to the practice of website auditing by implementing biometric testing for UX design. But this project has also had other impacts, such as increasing the visitors to the museum, increasing the profits for the museum, increasing the quality of the marketing decisions with the added analytics. And then our team has been impacted by this as, I mean, this is our senior project, so this class ties all of our CIS classes together, tying them all together really well. And then, of course, we went to the Ball State competition. That was fun. And then, but it also increases the presence in Evansville, especially with this biometric testing lab, because this is really unique to the region. All right, so we wanted to show again that we went to the Ball State competition. We got 2nd place in the project, and we were very, very proud to get that. All right, so thank you for your time. Now, if we have time, we can answer any questions if you have them.